So we are live on TikTok right now, and going live isn't something I do very often, and it's something I should do more, but we've got to make a practice of it, because we are a light to this world, and our voice matters. We have to light up the darkness. This world, this matrix, it was all designed to be a master training simulation to help us to level up and to manifest higher timelines. We are all creator gods and goddesses incarnate. And this world, this matrix, was designed to help, to really make us feel small, to shrink us, because in the physical we feel vulnerable as humans, but as spirits we are infinite. We are so much bigger than what we are in the physical form. So there are so many tests and traps in place to siphon our energy, to shrink us, to divide us, to distract us, and disempower us. Thank you, Daniel. But we've got to do something about it, because the ways of this world were not meant to stand. We were meant to change it. We were meant to take back our power from the dark forces and to create. We have all of this power within us, and when we call it all back, we can do anything. We can manifest higher timelines. We can flip this paradigm from darkness to light. That is why we're here. That is what God has called us to do. And that is what we are doing. And, so much will try to come out and to stop us and to shrink us in this process, because there is duality in this universe. And the brightest lights cast the darkest shadows. And there is a balance. And the old guards of the old systems, they don't like us changing things. And we've gone through spiritual warfare. And we've got to have conversations about that. We've got to put that on the table, because it's true. And if we don't talk about it, then it will continue to have power over us. But when we talk about these things and we bring these issues to light, then darkness can no longer stand. So that's why I'm here, and that's why I am speaking, and that's why I'm on a few different platforms right now. I'm on YouTube primarily, and TikTok occasionally. And we've got plans to build this in the physical. We need to create new earth sanctuaries, places where chosen ones can unite. We've got to unite our family of light and bring together God's warriors to co-create free and sovereign new earth communities, because the best way to defeat darkness and to destroy the old is to focus our energies on creating the new. because what we energetically give our attention to is what we feed. So by watching the news or watching television and all of these things, they siphon our energy, and darkness uses that to manifest, because they can't manifest without our consent, without our energy. So in order to shift this paradigm, we've got to stop feeding these spiritual vampires, these entities of darkness. And that is through living through love, opening our hearts and remembering that we are all one, and that we are loved, and that all of this life, everything that we've been through, is to train us to be even more powerful warriors of the light. And God has invested greatly in us. So the entire universe, the heavens, have opened up, and they are supporting us and empowering us to take back our power, to speak our truth, and to change this world. And it takes unity to win it. And unity really comes down to remembering that we are all one. And, you know, that's why the enemy tried so hard to divide us and to distract us. They had us thinking that everything we needed to seek was external from us, that we needed to be chasing money, chasing material, chasing sex, what have you. And that's not the answer. The answer is within. You came to earth with a purpose. You came to earth on a plan. You chose to be here. And everything in your life that has happened is all a clue for you to unlock higher timelines and level up. So that is what we're all here doing. And we know that the old systems, the old governments, they were not designed to nurture our souls. They were designed to siphon the life force energy from us, to keep us in endless cycles of slavery and oppression, to keep us fighting and to keep us divided so that they can conquer us and control us. But, you know, we see through their games. The mind control manipulation no longer works on us. And God is lifting the veil. We are seeing the truth. And we're not going to fall for the same tactics and tricks and traps that the enemy has laid for us. We are going to learn from those lessons and to make better choices and align our actions to our Creator's highest will for us. Because we all came here to Earth to forget who we were as souls, but before we came here, we were eternal. We were one with God, and we chose this. So now is the age of remembering. Now we get to plug in and to tap into our divine superpowers and to find out how amazing and blessed and gifted we really are. In a world that tried desperately to shrink us and to program us, we were the prize all along. And we get to remember that and come home to that. And we get to be vessels of light for God to work miracles through us. You have that power. And you are an amazing, powerful, beautiful soul. And you are loved and supported by this entire universe. You know, we can do it. Freedom is encoded in our DNA. And when we elevate and we rise our frequency, we can tap in to all of our superpowers. And we can create radical change in this world, but it starts within. You cannot change things in the outer world by force alone. And true change and lasting change needs to be embodied. We have to be the change. That is the way to change things in the outer world, is to change them in the inner world. And, you know, the scene in The Matrix, I'm reflecting on that now, where Neo goes to the Oracle. And he sees in the waiting room, there's a bunch of children and chosen ones sitting in there. And Neo sees this child and he sits down and he looks at him because this child he's got a spoon in his hand and he's bending it with his mind. And then Neo sits down and looks at him and the child says, "Do not try to bend this spoon. That is impossible. Instead, remember the truth. There is no spoon. Then you will see that it is not the spoon that bends, it is only yourself." And that is the secret right there. That is how we create change, is we embody it. And that's what I knew I must do after I had my spiritual awakening. Back in 2000, it was around COVID time and the whole world was in, you know, panic and stress. And I had already lived a life of that. And COVID for me was a time of really plugging in to my psychic gifts and finding God, finding my ancestors, finding my angels and my spirit team. That has always been with me. But I was too disconnected to really plug into that. So during that time, we started plugging in and healing, and we were activating our chakras, aligning to our soul's true light and purpose. And we realized that this world was definitely messed up, and we had been doing everything we could to try to change that. We were activists, we were freedom fighters, even prior to our spiritual awakening. We always felt a deeper sense of responsibility to help others and to be a guide in this world. And throughout COVID and those times, we had put the pieces together on a lot of things in our lives. And realized that they were leading the sheep to the slaughterhouse, and they were trying to really inflict terror upon us, and we were seeing so many fall for it. Going out to get the jab immediately, and just not even, turning on the TV to figure out what's going on in the world rather than praying and plugging in. Everyone was in panic, and everyone was, you remember, it was a crazy time for us that we've gone through. So I knew through that it wasn't right, and I knew that something within me was calling for me to be the change, to follow my intuition rather than following the crowd. That I knew that there was something within me, like my intuition, God speaking to me, that has saved my life through so many things in my life. A lot of chosen ones have had countless near-death experiences, and I am one of them. Something bigger in this universe was keeping me alive, and it wanted me to know that. It wanted me to see that. It wanted me to be a living, breathing, walking, talking testimony of the powers of God. Because by all accounts, I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be alive, but I am. So around that time, I started to put the pieces together and connect the dots on the higher plan that was unfolding. I was actively connecting with Mother Earth and raising my frequency so that I could plug in to the wisdom of Source, my ancestors, my angels. I was healing. I got to go to Mount Shasta on a work trade for like a month, and if you didn't know that, Mount Shasta, like Mother Earth, she is a vessel just like us, and just like us, she has chakras, and Mount Shasta is the sacral root of Mother Earth. There are 7 chakras, but that is the sacral root, and we went there, and we were having our Kundalini activations at that time, and Mother Earth was helping us to heal. We had so many magical experiences in that month that we were out there. I remember I went swimming with an entire coven of witches, light witches, divine feminines, awakened souls, and it was a beautiful experience. We swam. My friend there, Kellyfish, she is a gifted swimmer, and she teaches aquahara classes, and that's kind of like a spiritual kind of swimming thing. I watched the women doing it, and it was so beautiful and so magical and divine, and it was a beautiful day and a beautiful blessing, and I felt the energies of Earth, and I was out there. I sat on a rock, and then all of a sudden, all of these butterflies came to me, and they were periwinkle blue, and they surrounded me, and I started dancing. I was dancing with butterflies, and they were dancing with me. And that was such an amazing blessing from God. And I realize that God is always blessing us. God is always looking for opportunities to bring us miracles. But so many are distracted and not plugged into that. And because of that, they're just not getting it. They're not seeing it. They're not plugged in. But that experience got me really, really hooked. And I continued to do more to deepen my connection to God and to embrace the superpowers that I had been working. And it was definitely a catalyst for my whole life to change, and I went through it. So I really got into crystals and plugging into source, channeling. I tapped into my psychic gifts, and the journey went on and continued, and I have had so many miracles since. Thank you, Monty. Yeah, it was amazing. I have so many memories of past timelines and significant events where God had reached down from the heavens to bless me, and that was one of them. I've had incredible experiences like that since, and I live for it. Every day I'm living miracles. And just even going to the gym like yesterday, I see angel numbers everywhere. Every song that plays on the radio is a message from God, and I know it's personal for me because God is inside my head. God knows my thoughts. God knows the things that I'm working through and the messages that I need to get. So I am so grateful to know that I'm not alone in this universe, and that I am being blessed 24/7. Even in my dreams, I am growing and evolving and expanding into my gifts. And I really want to see everyone doing that. I really want to see everyone plugged into the magic of this universe, because the ways of society and the outer world and the matrix and all of that is so wrong. That we've had these gifts and these superpowers and this love from the heavens all along, but this world tried to make us forget that. They tried to shrink us. They tried to siphon the life force energy out of us to keep us in survival mode and struggle. But, we can take back our power at any time and say, you know what? I don't need that. I don't want that. I'm here for magic. I'm here for miracles. And I am here to manifest higher timelines and be a vessel of light for this world. And, it's a process. Devoting your life to God, it is not an easy path, but it is the only path that's worth it. It is the only true path. And your intuition will never lie to you. So we can do anything. We can do anything. And it just requires us to believe in ourselves. To believe that there is a higher plan unfolding. and that God wants for us to just rise and remember who we are. And then it'll be over for the dark forces on planet Earth. It already is. Because when you are free with God, your energy is sacred. You are here using that energy to manifest and create. You're no longer being siphoned on from the devil, from the dark forces. You are here to be a vessel of light. And, I always have visions of New Earth. And, we've had so much that we've had to heal from on this planet. The lies, the programming, the manipulation, and the mind control. The poisonings. Humanity has been in a induced slumber. They have tried to suppress our gifts so that they could siphon off of us and keep us as batteries to manifest their timelines. But New Earth is where we are all in our power with God. We are all vessels of light. And we are actively doing the inner work and healing so that we can embody God's highest will for our lives. There's going to be battles along the way, definitely. But the war is over. So let us continue to go forward and be empowered as vessels of light and spreading the truth and knowledge about healing and how we can master energy by mastering our frequency. How we can heal ourselves from the past wounds that we have suffered, and we can open our hearts and trust and surrender so that, thank you, John, and God bless you, beautiful soul. I see your light. And we're here to create it. We are here to anchor in the heavens and co-create the new earth together so that we can no longer be siphoned on from these satanic entities. And we can create a world where our children are safe and protected from these parasitic pedophiles. We have seen it unfolding in the media. This world we've been through a lot of darkness. We've been through a lot of lies. And evil has been hiding in plain sight all along. And it's going to continue to get worse until it gets better, but we have to be the shift. We have to change this world by surrendering to God. I envision going forward into New Earth that chosen ones will have land to create healing missions and we can grow our own food, grow gardens, indulge in plant medicine and all of the wonderful healing that Mother Gaia offers us, so that we can restore our minds and our bodies and our hearts and our souls, so that we are in alignment with God. And we will be teaching healing and offering healing and talking about crystals, med beds, prayer, just everything is healing. Dance, ritual, fire, elements. The healing is it's multifaceted, and just breathing is the most important thing that we can even do to heal ourselves. That was Spirit reminding me to breathe right now. But it's true. And we can elevate, and we can take back our power in all the ways that it's been siphoned on, and use our energy to create. And we've got to teach each other how to do that, and to motivate each other, to empower each other, because we can't just do this alone. We are all here on Earth, and we have been through darkness. We have been through literal hell on Earth. But it all served a purpose, and the darkness that we have endured has made room for us to embody even more light. And we are here to be vessels for miracles. We are here to help as many souls as we can to be free. To be free from the bondage and the chains of mental slavery. To be free from the parasitic matrix that wants to keep us in survival mode and lack. God sees a much higher plan for us than our human brains can comprehend. And there is a higher plan unfolding here. It is on us to rise and remember. It is on us to be the change that this world needs. We've got to pivot here. Because we see what the enemy wants. And we know what they've been doing here. And those timelines are not going to happen. Not on our watch. So, whatever it takes, we're here to do. And we are birthing the new. We will not be shrinking ourselves for the soul siphoning matrix, playing small in a world that was not designed for our souls. It was designed to enslave us. But there is beauty in this world. It was originally created to be a magical, wonderful place where we can manifest and create and be living in eternal holy bliss as vessels for God. And that is always within us to embody. So that is the shift. That is the shift. Is you free your heart, you open yourself, you let your soul be who you truly are. Not who you had to shrink yourself to be in order to conform into this sick society. You know, God loves us so much. And God wants for us to know that and to remember that. And there's so much darkness has done to try to make us feel like we are unworthy. Like we are the ones that are the problem with this world. You know, they have demonized our light. You know, that uncomfortable feeling when you're in a room and there's a bunch of people and you say something true and everyone looks at you like you're weird. And you're just speaking from the heart and being honest. And you know, it's like a lot of people have been programmed. A lot of people have been programmed, but to demonize the light and to be afraid of it. But, you know, the light is within us all. And if we really embrace it and trust it and surrender ourselves to it, then we get to be free. We get to be free. And though it's not an overnight process, you know, it takes commitment, it takes work, it takes stewardship, that God is guiding us to do it. To light this world up, to shift this paradigm from darkness to light, and to co-create heaven on earth. Because that is the truth, is that we are loved, we are supported, we are blessed, and we are living, breathing, walking, talking miracles and vessels for God. Oh. Just wanted to show you the clouds right now. Such a pretty day. And I'm in Spokane, Washington. So we've been very lucky to have a pretty mild winter so far. But you know, I am not really for the cold weather, and I'm not from Spokane. I was born and raised in Orlando, Florida, and I lived in San Diego for the last 12 years. I've traveled around a bit, and the past few years since my spiritual awakening have been pretty hectic. You know, I've been homeless, I've been, you know, different places and situations and timelines since on this journey that I'm on with God. But you know, I am a surrendered vessel. I am a surrendered vessel for God, and I am on a sacred mission to help bring light and freedom and liberation for all souls on earth. The reason I say all souls is because animals are souls too, and they've been oppressed as we have been oppressed. Trees are souls. They have also been oppressed. There's so much that darkness has done to wound the collective of Mother Earth, and God's most sacred souls have been targeted. Women, children, and chosen ones. And we've got a lot to heal collectively here. There's a lot to heal. There's a lot that we can do. We can master energy fully. You know, we are all divine alchemists. And alchemy is the art and skill of shifting energy. And that is what we are doing, is we are shifting energy. We are shifting the energy from darkness into light through our own healing and taking back our power, speaking our truth. We are exposing the darkness so that it can no longer have power or dominion over us. And we are raising the bar on how things are done here on planet Earth and how we treat each other. Because we all have a responsibility to energetically be sovereign to God, so that we are no longer in patterns of hurt people, and passing on the generational curses and wounds to the next generation. This is the paradigm shift. Chosen ones are rising. We are remembering why we came to Earth. And we are transmuting all darkness into light. We did not have it easy in this life. And it was through pain that was our greatest teacher. But we can do anything. We can do anything. And we are so much more powerful than the enemy ever wanted us to know or find out. And I'll tell you, my life and the spiritual attacks that I have gone through have been insane. And since I had my awakening, it has really, it's been crazy, you know. I mean, really. But I'm grateful for it, because in this process I've really been learning about how darkness operates and what it does to, and how it thinks, and how it will try anything that it can to dim our light and disempower us and fucking destroy us, really. The darkness hates the light. But, you know, that's because we are its enemy. We are here to change this world, to birth the new, and transmute all darkness into light. And that starts from within. It is within. The devil will try to attach to us, to shrink us, to make us think that we can't, or that it's a lost cause, and to accept defeat. But the truth is, it can only try to plant a seed of doubt. You have to just hang on to faith and trust in God that there is a higher plan unfolding, and that you are being trained and tested in the art of spiritual warfare, so that you can be empowered to take back your energy in all the ways that they have tried to siphon from you. And create new earth. Just be the frequency of your highest self, of your highest timeline. Open your heart. Live in love. Speak your truth and shine your light. Anything that tries to block you or anything is coming up for you to heal something within yourself. It is an opportunity, it is a mirror. So everything that happens in this world is an opportunity for us to grow and higher align our lives to God's will for us. So, the shadow work is so important. I think there's a lot of so-called spiritual gurus out there who don't do the inner work, and they focus on the image of spirituality rather than the true medicine and alchemy behind it. Because you have to really truly master your own shadows. You have to know yourself thoroughly in order to be a vessel for source. It's not about image, it is about embodiment. Let's see. I'm just looking to see how many are on here. I'm gonna start going live more often, and I want to create a new earth sanctuary where I can bring together chosen ones and God's warriors of the light, just to have a kick-ass time and to be high vibrational, to have campfires and bonding and channeling source and being high vibrational. So we've got, I really see the world becoming like a garden, and us planting seeds of love and getting off the ways of the old world, the chemicals, the plastics, and embracing the natural. So that's really how we can quicken the healing and deepen our connection to Gaia, so that she can heal us and the sun's kind of like in my eyes right now, so I'm trying to find a position that's gonna work. So right now in my life, I am kind of in between timelines. Because, I'm not of the old world. I'm not interested in shrinking myself for the matrix, and my soul remembers my calling and my purpose for incarnating to Earth. So I feel like I absolutely will not be conforming to a world that my soul just doesn't vibrate with. And I have been called to a much higher mission, and I don't belong in the matrix. My soul is too sacred for that world. So I've been really praying to God and asking, for a life where I don't have to be in survival mode anymore, where I don't have to be a slave to money or to all of these false gods. And I am only here to serve the Most High and to help serve humanity, my brothers and sisters on planet Earth, to the best of my ability, as I am being a conduit of the divine, a messenger from God. So I really am trying to do my absolute best here. But something needs to give in the physical, and I've been really trying to save money and survive and keep a balance between my spiritual work and through surviving in the physical world. And this world, it was designed to be energetically draining on us in every which way possible. And I know that all of these experiences that we go through are helping us to see the ways that the matrix is broken and to fix it. So we've got to fix it. I don't think anyone should be struggling or having to slave to a life that doesn't match their soul's true calling and purpose. Money isn't real, but God is. So we can serve God rather than serving money. And it could be that simple. It could be that simple. But we all would have to do it, And I think it comes down to us choosing to do it. Like, say, you know what? No, I'm not going to shrink myself for this. I am not going to play small in this society. And I trust God. I trust the higher plan that's unfolding. And I believe in miracles. I believe in change. I believe in God's promise. And I am here to do it, to be it. And when we all rise to be and embody the change that this world needs, we create a ripple effect for others to do the same. Every soul that awakens and returns to Source helps ignite the holy flame so that we are all enlightened and activated to our true mission and purpose for coming here. Every day since my awakening in 2020 has been amazing in the fact that every day God shows me more and more of who I am and how loved I am, how supported I am, how not alone I am. Even though it looks like I'm alone in the physical, we're not in the spiritual. We're very popular in the spiritual, as it turns out. We've got angels and ancestors and benevolent souls in this universe who are all here watching us and plugged in with us and supporting us in this transition that is happening on Earth. And they're loving us because, you know, they're so proud. They're so proud because they've been watching us on Earth for so long. You know, it really is like a galactic reality show for extraterrestrials, seeing Earth and seeing the ascension journey that is happening, and chosen ones rising, and remembering our true powers and purpose for coming here. And they've helped us so much on this journey. Our spirit guides, our angels, they love us so much. And I can't even tell you how many miracles that I have witnessed in my life and that God has worked through me. But, you know, I'll have to write books about it. I want to make a movie about it too. I think a movie would be really good. These kids are flying a drone over to me, so they need to back up a little bit. Anyways, I love how my connection to Source has shown me my life in God's perspective. So I see beyond the linear, I see beyond the physical, and I understand my soul and who we really are and who we were before incarnating into this vessel. And I can see all the different timelines and events in my life that have been pivotal in shaping me to be the warrior of light that God needed me to be. We were master crafted by the hands of God for a specific mission and purpose. And God is very meticulous. Every detail is, you know, we were forged by the fire and we were refined. And I love how we have this higher perspective and awareness of the divine master plan and how God sees us in our true design, that all we have to do is really surrender to letting God help us remember who we really are, so that we can change this whole world. You know, just by coming home to God and remembering. But then, you know, we got to do it in the physical too. We have our earth vessels here on earth for a reason, and we got skin in the game. We got actual skin in the game. So why are we still going to work at corporations that hate us? Why are we still paying rent and taxes and feeding these parasites? Why are we playing small and shrinking ourselves for this outer world when God put within us the ability to be miracles? So, you know, we can do so much better here. And we will do so much better here. You think that God's gonna give up on us after working so hard on us? I don't think so. I think that it's happening. And I think that the sooner we all really unify our hearts and our energies to God's highest plan for us, the better it's going to be for us. You know, we were born slaves, but we won't die slaves. And there is a reason you're here. You have a light to shine. And you are needed to be a leader of this new paradigm. So, the way I see it is God's warriors are here. We're awakened, we're mission activated, we're vessels for source. And we are empowered by God, the entire kingdom of heaven, and the entire universe supports us in what is unfolding here. So we've got to be strong and unite together to empower each other to be vessels of light for this world. And to embrace healing, to embrace anything that brings us closer to God so that we can heal from the illusion that we were something to shrink ourselves to. And we're unstoppable. We are unstoppable. All right. It just asked me to drag that puzzle piece on the screen. I think it was going to shut me off. So, what's holding us back? You know, I think that we need to really think about this and to bring our ideas on the table. Creating new earth communities is going to be vital, and we've got to help transition people off the matrix. Homelessness is disgusting, and it should not exist, and it is just another disgusting example of how this parasitic system has enslaved us. They use us and they throw us away like trash, throw us out on the curb. So, you know, the way I see it is the banks don't own land. Gaia, Mother Earth, is a soul. And souls are sovereign to God. You cannot own a soul. Therefore, you do not own the land. The banks have no authority. The governments have no power here. We, the people, have the power. So we've got to build our missions. Build our missions. Take back the land. And make it fun. We've suffered for far too long on this planet. Let's pick up the vibration and live in bliss. Because who's to say that we can't? Who's to say that we can't live our best life? The Matrix? Come on. Don't give it power. You know, after my spiritual awakening and giving my life to God, I literally embraced homelessness because I knew that by facing my fears, my deepest fears, that I was going to free myself. And God told me to trust, to surrender. And that's what I did. I dove completely into God's arms, and God caught me. And I know how God shows up for me in my life because I have been through the ringer. I have seen enough to never doubt the higher plan that is unfolding. I know with absolute certainty that God fights for me, and that God is empowering me to be a voice, to take back my power in all the ways the devil tried to deplete me. And to speak my truth. Because I know I'm not alone. I know that my truth will resonate with other chosen ones. I know that my story and the things that we go through on this journey, they're very similar. I have a friend at my gym who is another chosen one, and he's gone through things very similar that I've gone through, like gang attacks and humiliation rituals and a lot of crazy stuff. Yeah, I've been through all of that. There needs to be a bingo sheet for chosen ones, because like I would add gang attacks, gang stalking, near-death experiences, witchcraft, voodoo, all of these things to the chosen one bingo sheet, because we've lived such crazy lives. We've been through so much, and you know, God needed us to know that we are only alive by the grace of God. We are only here because God sees potential in us. And God has invested greatly into chosen ones to teach us discernment. That through the attacks that we went through, we learned how to outsmart the enemy, how to defeat the devil. So I'm grateful for the hardships, I'm grateful for the struggles, I'm grateful for everything that we've been through in this life, because everything was to teach me, and I am not alone here. And everything that I've gone through has just brought me even closer to God. And that's the greatest gift of all, is to know Source and to remember who we are. I don't know what else Spirit wants me to say right now, but I just want to empower you and empower the world to just do whatever really is. If your heart is in the right place, don't let anyone stop you. Live your best life. Be a blessing to this world. Help people. Do your best. Live in love. And serve. It's there for you if you want it. And God's love won't go anywhere, you know? It's your divine inheritance is worth everything that you have been through in your life. And when God chooses to teach you, to train you, it is an honor. It is a blessing. And that it is worth everything that you go through. Because even through the wounds, you gain wisdom. Through the struggles, you build strength. Through the pain, you gain power to fuel your true purpose. You have the power. And you're not alone. I love you. I love you, beautiful souls. I love you, humanity. I love you, soul family. It's been a real amazing journey, this life. And I want to continue to open my heart and to heal. Let's see. Beautiful. Damn, Daniel. It really is all of us. So, love is what's gonna heal this world. And when we open our hearts, we get to be so much more than who we thought we were. And God will break us open so that we can be vessels of light. And that it's an honor. It's an honor to serve. It's an honor to have surrendered so much to be able to embody Source on such a level. And you know, there's a lot of beautiful souls in this world who have devoted their lives to this divine alchemy. And there are heroes amongst us. And You know, this world is changing and this world is healing because of the heroes amongst us, because of us, that we are all doing this together energetically. So I choose to focus on that. I choose to focus on the miracles and the blessings, because I know by doing that, it's just going to manifest more of that into my life, into my hologram. And that's the beautiful thing, is God gave us free will. And we are here to master energy. You can master it for good, you can master it for evil. I know the God that I serve, and I know the light that I hold is eternal. And I'm just here to do my best and to surrender, because we are the age of light. We are this new paradigm. All of us completely integrated with God and with open hearts. We are the shift that is happening here, and we are the shift that is needed. Well, alright guys, I'm glad I did a live today. I have kind of been avoiding it and putting it off, but I realize I need to do more of that. So I'm thinking ahead for the future, and you know, if you aren't following me, go ahead and do so. I've also got my link tree in my bio, so that you can follow me on other platforms. But we've got big plans for New Earth, and what is unfolding here is really, it's divine prophecy unfolding. So miracles upon miracles are opening up, so I'm inviting you to be a part of that and to come with us as we are surrendered vessels for God on a mission to bring light and freedom for all souls on planet Earth. All right, guys, I'm gonna go. I love you, and God bless you. Namaste to you, soul family. Keep shining the light. We've got this. I know it. All right, bye.